Welcome back to the channel, my YouTube family, and today we're doing something I haven't done before. I looked at this game back in early 2021. I actually played the demo of this game before it released in April 21, and I was sort of on the fence to whether I liked the game or I didn't like the game, and I done a game review on it. So, since then, I've changed, a few things have changed, so I wanted to revisit Outriders today and just see if it has improved in the last couple of years. Should be good, let's do it! So back in that review that I did on Outriders back in 2021, I was playing on an Xbox One. So obviously I've moved now. I'm now playing on a Series X, so there is a generational jump as far as performance goes. So it's one of the reasons I wanted to relook at this game. And also I think when I went back and looked at the review that I did on this game, I was sort of not sure if I liked it, not sure if I didn't like it, and I had a number of concerns. And it's always good to come back to a game and just see if any of my concerns are still there. They may have been fixed. Obviously when a game releases and over a period of time there are a number of updates that happen, and yeah, it's been a couple of years, so I'm going to hop back in. The nice thing that greeted me very quickly in the game is that even though I played the demo, now that I've got the full game and I've booted up, all those achievements that I should have earned with the full game actually started popping up straight away. So I didn't miss out on any of the achievements. I think those might have been disabled in the demo version of the game, but now that I've got the full game, there they are for me. So that was a very pleasant surprise for me in firing the game up for the first time in a couple of years. And yeah, I think one of the biggest problems with Outriders for me is the fact that it hasn't really given me anything different to other games that I've played, and I'll go through and explain that in a while, what I mean by that. But let's go through and just give you the quick spiel on this game if you haven't seen it before, just so you understand where it is, who developed it, all that good stuff. So Outriders is described as an online-only cooperative action role-playing third-person video game developed by People Can Fly, and it was published by Square Enix. And you would know Square Enix from the Tomb Raider series amongst many other things, and it's available on a number of platforms including PlayStation 4 and 5. It's maybe not available on Stadia now, but Windows, Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, and it was released on April Fool's Day 2021. That's interesting release date, but anyway, and yeah, it's, for me, straight away, the description throws up red flags. An online-only cooperative action role-playing third-person video game. So, let me talk about this a little bit. So, in the past, I've played various games. So I've played a lot of games. I've played Destiny. I have also played Anthem. Now, those were online cooperative action role-playing games as well. And yeah, we all know what happened to Anthem. It's not good in Destiny, although it's very popular. There has been some problems with that in the last couple of years as far as retaining DLCs and content that you might have bought, etc. So a really big risk you run with those is like sort of Destiny 2 servers being shut down, Anthem servers being shut down, the support for the game being withdrawn because it's been too resource heavy, not enough servers, all kinds of stuff. I'm not a fan of online only games. The second thing that I would say about Outriders, and the thing that probably concerned me the most back in 2021 and still concerns me to this day, is it doesn't really offer anything gameplay wise that I haven't seen before. I've played many games that are in the third person and the first person perspective, shooter wise. I think of the Division games, Ghost Recon, Anthem, Destiny. There's a whole raft of them. And this game really doesn't offer anything new in this space as far as the way that it plays. It just feels like the Square Enix and People Can Fly have taken a lot of elements for different games and put them into Outriders. And maybe that's why I was kind of on the fence back in 2021 about whether I liked this game or not, because it didn't have a uniqueness about it, if you like. Having specialised classes, again, that's nothing new. Skill tree, nothing new, etc, etc. Now, having said that, and having started to play through this in the last couple of days, I do think this has a very, very strong storyline to it, and it does suck you in. It does start to get you immersed into the game. And from that perspective, I've enjoyed that part of the game so far. I've enjoyed the storyline, but it just feels much of the same game that I've played in the past. And I've spoke about this in my walking vlog, where it just seems there are a lot of companies in the last few years that they just have this formula that they all stick to and they build their games around. And I want something that's a little bit more unique. Sure, the levels and the map designs and stuff have quite a unique look to them to some degree. But you can't hide that behind the fact that this game is just the same as many other games on the market. So again, I'm not convinced in the positive side of things, but I've got to say I haven't got any more negative things to say about this game either. I'm still kind of on the fence. I'm playing it. I'm enjoying playing it, but it's nothing new, really, is what I'm saying. There are a lot of things in this game that I think other games do much, much better, and I'll give you one example of this. So I've made my way through the main campaign, and I've got to the base area, and I'm running around, and I found a couple of shops in that base area, and yeah, go to sell things, and I can't mark items to mass sell them. I can't sell that. So I've got maybe 10 items that I want to all sell at once. I've got to go through and individually sell one at a time, one after the other. And it's that kind of attention to detail, whereas with something like the Division 2, for instance, you can actually mark them to be sold all at once, and you only have to hit the button once. And I think that's some of the attention to detail that kind of irritates me a little bit, or I was expecting coming back after 2 years that would be added to the game. And I think it's just the kind of finer details of this game are just not there. It's just like a stock standard out of the box game that they've put together based on other games of this kind of genre, and thrown it out there. Do I think it's a bad game? Not at all. As I said earlier, I've enjoyed playing it, but I had higher expectations that a lot of things might have been fixed, and I think they have moved it forward quite a bit, but I still think there's lots of things in the game that needed more careful consideration and additions that have still not been made. Now, one interesting thing that happened to me when I first booted the game up is that I haven't changed the settings in this game. Obviously, it had saved in the cloud my profile. As I said earlier, I had moved from Xbox One to Xbox Series X, so there is a generational skip. But when I fired this game up for the first time, weird, unusual stuff with the sensitivity had happened. So if you're going to play this game, just be ready to really play around with the native settings for the game, depending on what setup of you've got, what kind of controller. And that was the weird thing. Even though I've changed my Xbox, I haven't changed my controller. My controller is exactly the same model controller I had used before, but boy oh boy, I couldn't aim. I was spinning around like a top, and it took me a while just to tweak the settings. Not a major thing, but it did take me a while just to get on top of the settings for sensitivity and dead zones and stuff. So starting a new character, I decided what I would do to give this a proper appraisal is I would start a new character and go through and play through the campaign again. So I had a like comparison. Finding where to be able to start a new character was a bit of a process, and it took me a while to figure out. In fact, I had to Google it. I couldn't find it. And it kind of speaks to the UI in this game. Certain things are not as obvious as they should be. Important things that you want to get done aren't as obvious as they should be, in my opinion, at least. Once I found that setup process, it was pretty straightforward after that. But building a new character was fairly straightforward. I wouldn't say I've seen much more complicated systems. This is pretty straightforward kind of system. Doesn't give you a huge amount of options. Don't mind that, but again, just trying to figure out how to build a new character. I actually had to Google and go on to various kind of YouTube sites and stuff like that before I could figure it out. And it comes back to what I was speaking about earlier. It's just the little attention to the smaller details of things, and making things easy for the gamer to figure out quickly and just get on with the game. I've seen much worse UIs than this one, so this one's pretty bare bones, but just lots of little stuff like that kind of irritated me just a tad. But once I'm into the gameplay, I forget about all that stuff real quick anyway, so it really doesn't. It's not a major drama, but just be aware of that. If you need to create a new character, you might have to look around a bit. I think the more I played this game, the more I got into it, the more I got comfortable with it, and the more I enjoyed it. I think the kind of starting tutorial and what you have to go through is fine. They've balanced that out fine. It's not too long, but there's lots of dialect and people that you got to talk to before you really get into the main storyline, which is pretty normal for most games. But I think the more that I was getting into combat, the better I found it, and the more immersed I started to get. The world tier system is an interesting twist on things, where you can, as you play through the game, you get more competent, you get better weapons, you can choose to make the game harder and harder and harder, and of course you're rewarded with better loot when you do that. So I kind of like that. The skill tree assets was kind of a weird one, because I kind of moved my character up from level 5 to level 6 and really had only had one skill tree point, which is kind of weird. I think that certainly kind of isn't ideal for me. I would have thought if I was at level 6, I would have at least 6 different tokens for the skill tree by then, or maybe 4 even. But to only have one was not great, and if I want to go up world tier wise, I would expect that I'd have the skill tree running at the same pace as for progression reasons, and so I can keep continuing to make the game harder for myself if I choose to. And obviously when you do get up those world tiers, you get rewards as well, which is quite nice. But again, the skill tree just seems to be a little bit out of sync with your character progression, or at least that's the way it felt to me. But anyway, guys, if you're looking for a game to play and you do like this kind of style of game, this kind of Anthem, Destiny, Division 2, Ghost Recon type of third-person shooter, check this one out. It's not costing me a penny because it's on Game Pass right now, so I downloaded it. Download size is quite big. I'll warn you, for Xbox I think it was about 96 gigs to download this, but it does have the World Slayer DLC included in it. So I'm, I think that's the reason why it was so big. But I'd love to hear if you have played the game or you do play the game, what you think about it, and feel free to disagree with me. I'm giving you my honest opinion based on what I expect from games, and after having played literally hundreds and hundreds of games, most of them shooters, I just feel that this game just is too much on the formula side of making a game and not enough on the unique side for me. I still enjoy it, I still get into it, but I tend to look for a little bit more out of a game as far as replayability and long-term playability. I'll probably play through the campaign of this and then I'll put it away and I'll probably never play it again, pretty much. So there you go, that's where I see Outriders at in 2023. Like I said to you, if you disagree with me or if you enjoy this game, that's all well and good. I like to do these reviews so that you get a feel for the game, whether it's for you. And I've been wrong in the past where I've went back and played games and they've vastly improved. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like rating to help the channel out. And we have lots and lots of content on this channel. Have a look around, stay for a bit, and we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. We'll see ya.